The Paula Show is on. The Paula Show. Come on, one and all. I extend an invitation to the Paula Show. Join in the conversation. Transforming behavior, recognizing our Savior, overcoming hurdles, achieving dreams. Together we can succeed.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Paula Show. Tonight we're speaking about true love. It's a love session and set tonight. Chris and Ambrose is here with us. Sherilyn Dorset is here with her husband, William Dorset. Tonight we're speaking about my true love. Is your wife your true love? Is your husband your true love? Tonight we're going to find out all that on the Paula Show. And we want you to stay with us. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Thank you for staying with us on the Paula Show. Remember to watch the Paula Show via CTV Channel 2 on Tuesday nights at 9 and Sundays is a rebroadcast at 1 in the afternoon. The Paula Show inspires, entertains, and transforms behavior. Like me on Facebook as well, The Paula Show. Tonight we're speaking about my true love. And my friends are here with me. And I have a beautiful audience packed with lovely people. Very well. Kristen, tell me, you've been in love and married for how long?
This year is going to make 20 years.
20 years.
20
Yes,
years.
but we've been together 26 years.
Oh. And who's speaking for the Dorsets?
The
Well,
man of the house.
The man of the
I was
house?
told to speak.
Oh, I see some submission on set here tonight. Girl, teach me a thing or two. Because you asked me that, you asked us that question, and before Charles can even inhale, I'm saying, oh yes, 25 years. So tell me, how many
Well,
years?
this is our 9th year. Of course, I
Nice.
would have known my wife prior to that, but this is our 9th year of marriage.
And how is it so far?
It's great. It's lovely.
Steaming?
It's steaming.
You're in the steaming stage. 9 years still?
There's a steaming stage that it ends.
Oh, I like you. You're hot. No, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. 25 years here, and we are still broiling.
Good.
Okay, so you've been married for 29, and we're at 25. Guys, growing up, did you think about getting married? You know, when you're growing up, you think about the future. You wanted to get married?
Of course.
Oh, stop.
Yes.
You thought about it and you wanted to get married.
For me, it was the norm. It had to happen.
How about
I would
you?
say that too. You know,
Yeah.
growing up, that would be the next step. After you finish school, you settle down, marry, have kids. White picket fence.
Okay.
She saw the house and fence already.
What about you?
For me, I mean, I had an example of my father.
Okay.
So I just saw it, so I knew eventually I would get there. And he was a good example with my mom, so I think it was the next thing in line.
So who were the influencers, meaning that you would have seen and wanted to emulate household as well?
Yes, definitely, because my parents have been married for 51 years.
Oh, clap for the parents. Oh, girls, they've been married for nearly as long as I have been alive, because you know I'm not passing 50. Even if I'm 51, I'm not passing 50, okay?
Wow, that's a journal there to follow.
Good, that's
Yeah.
good.
There were
Nice.
excellent examples, and I would tell anybody, if you have marital problems, speak to my parents. They were excellent examples. And going to school, of course, I was at school with people who were from single-parent homes, and I always just felt very blessed that my parents were together. I was born when when they were married, so I mean, I always felt very blessed, and I just took a lot of examples from their book, took a lot of lessons from their books. So. Yeah,
And it's
definitely.
working, 20 years.
Oh, yes, it definitely.
Charlene?
Well, for me, my mom had me very young. She was
Mine
like
too.
15, 16, around there. So when I grew up, really, there wasn't anyone there, but she eventually got saved, maybe at 23, somewhere around there. And then she got married. So then, even though I was young, I knew, okay, we started off single, but then she got married, and then eventually that's where I got my
Okay.
from.
My mom got pregnant at 15 as well,
Right.
and I was born when she was 16. My mom is still unmarried, but even without a father in the household, she tried her best.
Yeah.
And it's not where you start, but it's where you're going. For every crooked pot, there is a crooked lid. One lady said that she is random and she needs goals to remain focused. On the other hand, her husband is a goal setter and determined to achieve his goals. Differences, but we complement each other. How do you complement your husband?
Well, I can tell you that my husband and I will we're so different. We're like oil and water, black and white, chalk and
Girl,
cheese.
and how are you gelling for 26 years now?
It's not boring at all because iron sharpens iron. It really works. Of course, when we got married first, there was a lot of friction, and
Yes.
I mean, I was very bossy and all of that. But I mean, we have learned over the years to work together.
So
and,
you're not bossy anymore.
I didn't say that.
We'll have to ask him.
I got you. Charlotte, how are you complimenting William?
I think William is more of the outgoing. You see him, you can hear him from a mile away.
Ooh,
Yeah.
must be related.
We're talkers.
And I'm not. Well, I kind of do in my element. I'm good, but he is more the out front. Let me stay in the back. Let me just
Yeah.
stay behind
And support him.
yeah, I'm that. I prefer when you don't know me, because everyone knows you. So yeah.
So you're more the submissive type?
Um,
Oh, I'm going someplace here. All right, William, how is she complimenting you?
Well, she is similar to what Chris Ann spoke about in terms of the opposites. So where I'm very outgoing and visible, she tries to be, very quiet and private. I guess in the public arena, but at home, she's pretty much the one that does all the talking. I'm off camera when I'm home. I just relax, and I'm the quiet one. But she does a good job within the home and the family, so we are grateful for the comparison, and it works together to make things work.
Well, I'm the quiet one in the relationship.
Ah,
For me, if it's true. Should your spouse be your best friend?
I think they should grow to be the best friend. You may not start off with that relation, but I think their marriage relation should really be a journey. And as Chris Ann said, they may have had friction at the start, but they were able to communicate and work to be able to make the marriage better as they go along.
So
And
9
that's what I'm
years
looking
in,
at.
Charlene is your best friend?
Yes.
I better be.
Yeah, by now. You see
The
who's
submissive lady said, you better be. I would never do that.
right.
And Will is your best friend.
Yes.
Chris Ann?
Oh, definitely. Well, I better be his best friend. Yes, but we have really built a relationship over the past 26 years. I mean, I'm not saying that we did start off as best friends,
Yeah.
because like I said, we're different.
Yeah.
But we have formed a collaboration and a bond that is so strong that I don't even think ants can get between us. Right, honey? Yeah.
Oh, he learned that early.
Husbands need to understand. When your wife says, right, babes, just say, yes, honey.
That's it.
Just agree. We love agreement.
Yes.
Ladies, tell me if you agree with me. There's some element of danger in your spouse being your best friend. That's what one commentator said. Because when he bothers you, if he's your best friend,
Who
who are you going to tell that he's annoying you? You usually tell that to your best friend.
Well, I think it allows the relationship to stay where it needs to be.
Between
Where
you
if
two.
right, so if you're having an issue with me, I think the communication needs to happen between myself and the lady.
So
Yeah.
you wouldn't tell a best friend what's going on? Like a friend?
I've seen through the years where people sometimes have these companions to share stuff with, and sometimes they sometimes have a friend that is not even married, and they're getting advice about marriage from a single person, and that sometimes to me is like a train wreck. So I think it's good to keep it within the family
Keep it
environment.
within the family.
Yeah.
Chris Ann?
I think that It is good to keep it within the family, but at the same time, there's sometimes when you need to call in a third person. However, that third person has got to be somebody who is not going to be biased. It has got to be somebody who you can trust. It has got to be somebody who is very, very respected and respectable when it comes to marriage. Mature. And I'm not talking about like mature in age alone.
No.
I'm talking about mature mentally and wisdom as well.
Yeah. Coming up in our next segment, more exciting information about marriage. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Intimacy by appointment.
Intimacy by appointments.
Yes. When I was growing up, I went to a particular home and there was a wheel. And they said, not tonight. There are lots of excuses on the wheel. And I used to ask, do they spin the wheel and whatever happens? But no, there are some persons who schedule intimacy. There's no spontaneity.
Wow.
It is. I guess it depends on what works for each.
That can work for anybody, Charlotte.
It has to work for somebody.
Because for me, I think it takes out an element, as you said, of spontaneity and surprise and bliss. How do you?
If it works for them,
Everybody can't be the same.
That's it. That's
Okay.
true.
Well, I'm glad that I'm not that.
Well, I'm happy too. But if it works for them, it works for them. It won't work for me.
Some persons have to just
Listen.
put it in.
Wow.
No. No, that's not happening.
Would you say that they're having their priorities in the wrong places?
I don't know what they're
can't say
having in
that.
the wrong place. It sounds like they don't have anything in place. Me, it's not happening.
Wow.
If I'm traveling back from someplace or something like that and we have game plan, fine. But you don't tell me, this is how it is now by appointment. Every Thursday night, every Sunday night, every Tuesday, or it could be even the day. Because it doesn't have to be the night, but it's on a particular day and maybe a particular time.
That's what works for them.
That's what works for them. I'm so glad William is different.
Have you been able to maybe see any statistics of relationships that follow that pattern?
I didn't care to look because I just think it doesn't make sense. Why am I researching that?
You don't need to see the percentage, right?
I don't need to see the percentage because I'm sure it's minus something. That doesn't make any sense. And that is probably why they're not lasting 20 years, 25 years, and even 9 years. We both want to succeed. We compete.
Competition is good.
Yes.
Like a friendly competition that makes it very interesting. But when you have a husband and a wife getting at each other's throats because no, I must top you and no, I must pull you back, that's where there's going to be a problem.
In truth and in fact, they have some men, like say, the wives are the, if you want to say, breadwinners.
Primary breadwinners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their manhood sometimes they feel a little,
Yeah, the ego
Threatened.
thing.
yeah, because
But it's how the ladies sometimes, I would say, make the man feels because, I mean, if he's unemployed or if he's making less, he's earning less, you don't have to make him feel belittled about that. Hey, what is yours is mine and what is mine is yours. So I'm not going to have you walking around in underwear with holes just because. I'm just saying. I go and I buy you some nice silk boxers or something. You understand?
Right, but you spoke about it, Paula, where what
You
is
see,
mine
they're
is yours.
laughing at me.
They're laughing at what is mine is yours. So I think at that point in the relationship where there's a companion that may be female making more money, the man should be confident enough.
Joke. William, they're laughing at us. Yes, William, what is mine is yours and what is yours is mine.
Right, if that is already an understanding, I don't think the level of income that either of the companions are making should be a challenge or a threat to any of the partners in the relationship.
And don't we pool the resources anyway? We pool the
They
resources.
should be managing their funds together. Yeah.
But you know, some ladies have their little box hand put aside.
Have the other hand.
The box hand put aside. And William, you don't know about that
I
until
know.
you brought a hand.
Until the car show up.
Look! So in this case, you don't need to know everything, right? You're saving for a rainy day. And when the rainy day comes and and he doesn't have it, you're able to say, hon, you know, this is what we saved. Now, this is what I saved. This is what we saved. It's important to say we in marriage. It's not a selfish thing. I. We sound so much more complimentary.
But just to support a little bit of you saying having that extra fund for the rainy day, I think within the family and marriage union that they should have an emergency fund in place, not necessarily the wife having
The
this
box is the
hidden
emergency fund.
secret away from the man, because then he's out of the loop as to what is going on.
William, let me tell you something.
I want to be in the know.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There's hardly a wife in this world, a good wife in this world, who doesn't have a little thing stashed away.
All right, so I'm going to make a conversation tonight then.
You're not ever going to find out because we're keeping it. I mean, they're keeping it for rainy day. I need to be complimented. I need to hear I love you. Am I the only one?
It's a must. I think it's a must. Maybe there's some people who can go without it. But I think...
No, that's like oxygen to me.
Yeah, but...
You can do without I love you?
I can.
Huh?
No, let me explain.
You sure?
Let me explain. Let
You
me
sure?
explain. Let me explain.
Oh, we are hearing you.
Okay, for me personally, and he is exactly that he would say, I love you
a million times.
constantly, all the time. I'm like, okay, I heard you, it's okay, it's okay. Because he's expecting, yeah, I love you too, and I will when he says it, but I'm not going to say it all the time. And he is all the time.
I'm trying to keep
So
it
that
going.
is
Keep it going, keep it going.
personally, I mean, everybody has their own little.
You don't mind hearing it 2-3 times per
I
day?
don't mind,
But not 40 and 50?
Not 50.
Maybe it's not her love
And
language.
yeah,
And I've had to learn that it's probably not, so I do other things to...
who
Right,
have to do
because,
other things.
it can become an annoyance. Your good intention
Right.
can become annoying. Girl, we are all so different. Boo Boo keep telling me I love you. I want to hear that minutely. Listen,
Oh, definitely.
I never get tired of hearing that. When I hear it, my adrenaline flows, especially the bass voice. I love you. And here, Paula. Baby, I love you. See what I mean? But to each his own.
For me, personally, if I can put in, if he does something else,
Yes.
because that can also constitute as saying I love you,
Yes,
or
yes,
you
yeah.
do something nice to me, something around us, and I'll look like, okay. So it
Yeah.
hints and it triggers in my
Yes.
head, but nah, he passed to and passed, and I'm like, okay, dude.
Take it easy, take it easy. But
I
you know
got
that
you.
all that I love you sometimes is a setup,
Yes.
right, ladies? One lady complains, I don't get gifts on occasions. What's up with that, William? We need gifts on occasions.
Yes, I
And
think
for no reason at all, might I add.
somebody's got to talk to him.
Chrisanne, you look forward to gifts?
Of course. Who doesn't? Definitely.
I love gifts for reasons and for no reasons. Baby, just pour it on. Let me hear you now.
No, I love gifts.
Oh, you're finally coming with us. Oh, you're coming to come now.
She normalized now.
She normalized. The aircon was switched down, so she normalized. It was cold.
I think all
Guys
women
like
love
gifts
gifts.
too.
Yes, indeed.
Kevin, guys like gifts?
Yeah.
Boring.
No,
So if you don't get gifts all year long, it doesn't matter?
give me a tool. I'll be all right. I'll be happy, very happy.
That's so boring. Tool.
Yeah. No, well, this is personal, but we're under.
Yeah, I love personal.
This sounds like exposed now.
Yeah. So I have a Fitbit. So I use it all the time trying to get healthy. When I got it first, this guy would not take it off. So I'm like, give me a chance to wear my watch. You know, and he's just, every minute he has it on. And he's not a person that use jewelry.
Yeah.
So I found it strange. He just have on the Fitbit and he's watching, okay, how much steps I made? I'm like, okay. So then I decided Christmas came and I bought him an Apple Watch. Because we're Apple babies. We like Mac. So I got him that. And this was 3 years ago, guys. It's still in the box.
No.
It's not a Fitbit.
Maybe so, but no, I'm an Apple guy as well.
Me
and
too.
I appreciate the gift, but after I wore that, I got to the phase where I was no longer wearing watches. Just going back a little bit in my history, I used to wear watches, I used to repair watches, and I've kind of moved out of that era. So I no longer want anything on my hand.
But he wore my Fitbit. For
Because it
about-
was at the transition point. But by the time Christmas came, I was
You
gone.
out of that. Boy, you just bring the watch.
That's
I
the
can
thing.
always give somebody on the parlor show as a gift. Hello.
That's the thing.
Would you guys like an watch?
That's the thing now. So I'm saying, you know what, I'm going to sell this thing, you know, because...
Girl, don't
That's
sell it,
wrong.
bring it to the parlor show.
wrong.
Shawnee, he's like, Shawnee, how you going to sell a gift you gave me? I'm like, you're not using it.
It's sentimental.
Just to look
Yes,
at.
in the box.
I'm not leaving anything in any box. Anything I buy, even if I have to wear it someplace, I'm wearing it. I have nothing new. Shoes, clothes, everything must be worn. Once I've worn it once, then I
put it
can
back.
lay it aside for a little bit. But it's got to be worn.
All right,
How many
I'll
people
put
are
my
like
watch
that?
on.
Ooh, I've got company. So you'll wear your watch
I'll wear
now.
it. I'll wear it.
Okay. I'm so glad he came to the parlor show. Clap for him. He'll really watch now. You guys are clapping. That's one less gift for you. Much of adultery in today's society occurs in the workplace. Spending 40 hours per week with someone who excites you, eventually, intimate relationships begin. Intimacy replaces admiration. We have to be careful. See what the note says? 40 hours per week you're spending with that person. Remember, sometimes if we calculate the hours we spend with our spouses and family members at home, waking hours, not 40 hours as yet. Because by the time we get home, some of us, it's just time to freshen up and bam, gone to bed. No talking, no interaction. So we have to be very careful. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, very important to agree with that. You don't want to, as you said, have those 40 hours compromising your relationship at home. So you have to find a way to know your work limitations, even though you may have lots of hours with these persons, that you still must prioritize and have your values as to where, you know, your love and your interest should be.
I told my husband the other day, I'm sorry for you guys. We were in New York and these girls were walking semi-nude. I said, sorry for guys. I really am sorry for you guys. Because it's just there, right there in front of their faces. What do? They're going...
Avoid the second look.
Huh?
Avoid the second
Avoid the second look. How do you avoid the second? William just got caught, right? You saw that laughter? He just got caught. Deal with it.
I'm
when
going
you-
to buy shades, man.
But what I wanted to say to Paula, when it comes to cheating, I think it helps if couples think long term. Is
Yes.
this person worth my marriage? Is this person worth my family? Can you really afford it? Because it's going to cost you your family, it's going to cost you your marriage, it's going to cost you your happiness, your spouse,
Yes.
everything.
And it's going to cost overall.
It's going to cost overall.
Economically, upheavals financially, and the children.
Exactly. And the
Yeah.
other thing too,
Wow.
I mean, it all has to do with you respecting your spouse. As you say, listen, we're human beings. We're going to see people more handsome than our spouses.
Colin, really?
She's trying to put me on the spot, guys, but listen, there's nothing.
She needs the shades too, right?
William, don't worry. But what I'm trying to say is that, listen, and when it comes to men as well, listen, something is wrong if a man does not look. No, you have to wonder, okay, something's wrong with a man doesn't look, it's just their genes, it's just their
Innate in
genetic
them,
makeup.
yes.
It's just in them. But the thing about it, if you think that you are going to go and step out on your spouse, it flat out means that you do not respect your spouse. If you get tempted, think about the long-term effects and think about the fact that you're disrespecting your spouse. And ladies, I have to say this to ladies, if it is that you are allowing some little boy to run behind of you and sending you all these little sexting messages,
Driving
and all,
your vehicle.
and all that kind of nonsense carrying on there, respect yourself, ladies. And gentlemen, respect yourself too.
Let me tell you, see, this marriage thing, it's serious, you know, and it's a big deal. And people just take it so frivolously. Like, if we're not getting along, we can move on. It's a covenant that we make with Jehovah.
That's it.
Till death do us part. I'm going to go into the next segment, and we're going to be speaking about how our children influence our marriages. It's so much to consider, Jesus. But you said you will never leave us nor forsake us. And so we are depending on you to carry us through. Hallelujah. We'll be right back on the Paula Show. Stay with us, please. How are we rearing our children?
$1,000,000 question. What I can say, though, I think it's really important that both parents come together and they put up a united front when it comes to raising the children. For example, if one of my daughters would come to me and say, "Mommy, can I go somewhere?" and I say no, then, and she, I'm telling you, kids like to play each other, play parents against each other. And then she would go to her dad and say, "Daddy, can I go somewhere?" And he would probably say yes when mommy says no. Well, what we have trained ourselves to do is, I know my husband, you would say, "Did you ask your mom? And what did she say?" So even if that there is a disagreement, the kids don't know that there's a disagreement between mom and dad, because to them, mom and dad are together and they're presenting a united front. They are together. I think that's how children should be raised.
I think it goes to where men and even women within the relationship dealing with the children need to know the varying difference of a man and a woman and the personalities and the qualities that we have. And what you women are doing are not anything not expected. We expect that from you, to have that extra eye, because sometimes we men, we process things differently. And we will, as you say, easily say the yes because we are not looking into it in the deep. So we expect you guys to be there for
You're
the children.
not supposed to sleep over. Don't ask me to sleep over.
For me, I was in a household with 3 brothers, so it was 4 boys in the house with my mom being the sole female. So my mind is a little different than the average. So I have to fully trust my wife when it comes to what the children will do, because I've never engaged women until I got married in a home environment. So I fully depend on her when it comes to whether they should go, whether they should not, and stuff like that. And even dressing my daughter, I'm far from that, because I know I will make a mistake. Because all I've had to do was just put my socks on and run like a boy. So I've never
So when I
had
see Zion in shorts, it's
just
you.
noise problems. Just know that did it.
And Zion is growing up nicely, you know.
And she likes shorts.
She likes shorts? Oh dear.
Yeah.
We have to put Zion under the blood. Prayer church Sunday school important?
Yes, very important. Very important. And we don't want persons to think that the prayer church Sunday school is really for outside. It's supposed to be in the home. That's where I see it most effective. My children are praying at home. They're doing, singing at home, worshiping at home, so that when they get even into the corporate environment at church or wherever, that it's not the first time experience or the only experience, but they would have been able to experience it at home as well.
Mom and dad are discussing long-term goals among themselves. Do we discuss long-term goals with our children?
I agree with that 100%, to be honest with you, because they need to know how to do that. There are lots of people who did not grow up with that sort of training or that sort of teaching. They didn't get that sort of an example from their parents growing up. But in this day and age, listen, I think it's mucho important, because like I tell people all the time, you can't just jump in a boat and say, I'm going to Barbados. You jump into a boat without any oars, engine, any sails, but you're going to Barbados. Sounds crazy.
Stays right there.
Exactly. Well, you may get to Barbados, but it's highly unlikely. And that is just how that is exactly what you're doing when you're going through life and you're not setting any goals. And that's what children need to know as well.
It's important.
It's important.
I'm the only one here who schedule meetings at intervals, like family meetings.
Oh no, we do that all the time.
Okay,
We do that
I
all
have
the time.
company.
If I can ask, Paula,
Yes.
is there an age when you should start having the meetings? Do you have
Meetings
them
start
with the
from-
5-year-olds as well?
Of course.
Well, I think, okay, for me, in terms of meetings, it may not be like, oh, let's come together and have a meeting. But for me, once I get in, I'm home. Okay, guys, tell me what happened today. Or so they can speak to me and I can know exactly. They say, oh, Mom, you know something. Just to have this open conversation so I don't breed this, that they're hiding anything from me. So I want them to be able to speak and speak freely, not being rude, but being able to say, okay, this happened,
Expressive.
but to express themselves and also to be able to, you don't want something strange to happen at school and I'm not aware of it.
I suppose for different ages,
Right.
you will use a suitable method, but mine were introduced to meetings. Remind your children, whether minors or adults, that you're never too busy to help them resolve issues, to help them make decisions. Because sometimes our children are grown and we think that, oh, they're big people, leave them out there on their own. They still need us.
Yeah, they definitely need us. And one of the things that I tell people all of the time, Paula, if parents could get to a place where they have a little ego issue going on, because there are some things, and I can tell you honestly speaking, with our 2 kids, I know that my kids don't come to me with everything. And it doesn't matter if I could be Mary Magdalene herself, the most perfect mother on earth. They're not going to come to me with
I'm
everything.
so glad you said that. I'm trying to convince someone
Yes.
2 days ago. She says, my daughter tells me everything. I said, let me tell you something. Your daughter doesn't tell you everything. Your daughter tells you something.
They tell you what they want you to know.
Exactly.
But what I say to parents, as long as your kids have got an avenue
Yes.
to air their views to somebody of reputable character, it does not have to be me. Years ago, I would be offended if I found out oh, really? She told you that? She didn't tell me. Listen, as long as she's saying it to somebody of reputable character who is going to guide her accordingly. I know you're looking at me funny, Paula, but
I want
this
to
is
know.
where our egos
I
as
want to
parents
know.
come in.
So you're saying I'm egotistic?
No, I'm
oh,
not
Lord,
saying-
she's
I'm
telling
not-
me on the Polish I'm egotistic.
I never said that, people. I'm saying that as parents, we get hurt when we find out that our kids have said something to somebody and they have not
not
come
you.
to us.
Yeah,
I
I
would
want to
prefer to
know.
know that they're going to dump on somebody.
Grandmother
It doesn't
or
have to be me. It could be grandma, it could be grandpa, it could be daddy. As long as you don't hold something inside and then you end up imploding, committing suicide or whatever the situation
Yeah.
is. And this is where we're going to have to kind of cover down our ego as parents, because they're not going to come to us with everything.
Well, that is true. But when they go to Charlesworth and tell him things and I'm hearing secondhand, I say, but how come nobody told me that? I like first-hand information. Oh, parenting is so much fun and marriage is equally exciting. We're coming up in our last segment and we'll be sharing some advice about how you can make your marriage more blissful. Stay with us on the Paula Show. We'll be right back after this commercial break. It is impossible to find a perfect man or woman, as it is impossible to find 100% pure gold. Agree? It's a Chinese proverb.
Totally agree.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody is perfect,
Nobody.
100%. And even if the person is perfect, there's something in you who's going to find fault in them, and vice versa. That's just life.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect, even if they are.
And I don't think anyone should be really trying to find a perfect person. Because if you're true to yourself, you know that you have your imperfections to start off with. So you should never be looking for a perfect person, but you should be looking for a compatible person.
And you can improve on the imperfections
Someone
together.
to grow with, indeed.
So instead of criticizing the person, say, darling, we're going to work on this together. Because when you get to a better place, then it helps the family to reach to a better place. I like this. We're doing things together. It's we instead of I. Bringing our spouses daily before the Lord can renew our relationships and create a new romantic spark. You like that?
Yeah, romantic spark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
So you like romantic spark?
Yes, I like romantic spark. Should always have something to trigger romance in the relationship. Every day.
Every day. A book, a thought, something.
A phone call.
A text message, a WhatsApp message.
Yeah.
Something kinky, yeah.
Yeah.
She
I
just
feel
hides.
you. I feel you.
Yeah, anything. Let your imaginations grow.
Let your imaginations run wild. One lady said that she wore a high-necked, long-sleeve nightgown to the floor to bed. Another wore a negligee. Which one sounds more interesting?
I'm going to have to keep my shades on for this one.
It all depends. It all depends because.
It all depends. Let me hear this one, Chris.
No, listen, I like to be very open-minded. Me personally, I'm a negligee kind of person. Not that you asked, but yeah, I am a negligee kind of person. But however, if a woman wears, she dresses like the Taliban, the high neck, long sleeves, hey, her husband can use his imagination to figure, what's under there?
Chris, eh? That's a lot of imagination. No, that's boring.
It is boring, but like I said, I like to be very open-minded.
I'm not going to be so open-minded. Why are you going to bed in long sleeve and sweeping, going to the floor?
Maybe she's the type of woman who likes him to take his time to take it off. I don't know, but don't judge
But
the
even
lady.
if it's still a lot, Will, your thoughts?
Well,
Speak on behalf. Listen, you're no prude. Speak on behalf of the men.
speak on behalf of the men.
In
I
general.
think the lingerie and negligee industry knows what we men like. So they manufacture it, they make it so we can buy it.
So, so a gentleman would always prefer that to
Anything
tights
lacy, we're
and
good.
t-shirts
Oh yes,
and
oh yes.
Or
Oh yes.
nothing at all.
Are you
yes.
speaking on behalf
you
of all
said
men?
nothing at all?
I mean,
That's
every
what they
situation
prefer.
is different. So I mean,
Okay.
one night it may be nothing at all. One night it may be the red one. It may be the black one. It may be the purple one. But just keep it coming. Keep it lacy.
William Dorset.
Maybe you need to ask what we women prefer.
Yes, I'm going there.
I'm always jumping the gun.
No, you're not jumping the gun, darling. We think alike.
I love you, Paula.
I love you more. What do we want them to wear? Ain't up in the bed in no sweatpants.
No sweatpants whatsoever. For me personally, it doesn't have to be anything at all. But I like silk boxers.
Nylon.
Silk.
I'll just say I've got my pair, so I'm good. I use it occasionally.
Listen,
She didn't answer.
I'm coming to her. We don't want our husbands in bed in sweatpants or long sleeve shirts and big old white bobby socks. We don't want that. We need you to be accessible as much as possible, please. Tell us, darling. You're married for 9 years and you're keeping it spicy.
Silk boxers.
That's why I have it.
Remember this, ladies. OWE. One way every day. Find a way every day to show your man appreciation.
Yes. I can say, honestly speaking, men have very fragile egos. As much as they walk around with their chest puffed up and they're the man and that sort of thing, they do have very fragile egos.
Yes.
And I think that, especially for the man who works a lot, I don't think a woman needs to be telling him, oh, you work too hard or you work too much or whatever the situation is, even though they should be balanced. But men do need to hear that they are appreciated. Women too, us women too, it does go both ways. But as women, yeah, we need to let our men know that we appreciate them. I appreciate you, babes.
Well, when I'm vexed with my husband, I say, you handsome self. Seriously, I say, look at you, you handsome self. Because I am not telling my baby anything that's going to cause him to feel badly about himself. Recently, I traveled to Panama, and I know my baby loves cakes and pastry. Let me tell you, this is true love. 2 boxes of pastry and cakes, and I overnighted in Miami. Not one broken piece. I had them in my carry-on bag, and I treasured that bag as if it was pure gold. When I put it in the overhead compartment and I see people pushing their big suitcases beside it, I said, listen, they better not be crushing my baby's cake. And I brought it home to him, and I said, baby, look at what I brought for you all the way from Panama. And I opened the box and showed him the chocolate cake, the vanilla cake, the apple turned over, and my baby looked at me and he smiled. And that was enough to make me feel like the next time I travel, I bring in my baby more cakes. Who said go girl? Go girl! So that's what we do for them. We make sacrifices, we think outside the box, we try to satisfy them in every single way. What have you done for your baby lately?
I can't say that on national TV, can I?
Oh! What have you done for your baby lately? That's not X-rated, darling. Chris, and I'm coming back to you.
What have I done for you lately, babe?
You don't want it to be X-rated, right?
No.
Okay. So,
Let's move on.
so you got to ask another question.
Oh, Jesus. Chris, we leave it there. You notice I'm being a good girl all night.
Yeah.
Measured. I'm not saying anything that would embarrass my boo, right? And these ladies, they want to start to talk about X-rated situations. Come on, ladies. Don't
It's the Paula Show.
Don't hype me up tonight. Don't hype me. William, hold me down. Hold me down.
I got to be the referee now.
Hold me down. You're speaking my language. Remember to be kind. Say please, say thank you, be willing to say I'm sorry, I apologize.
To be courteous. Overall, just learn to be courteous and be a big person, be able to say, you know, you're sorry. I think
It's very difficult for some people to apologize. And they hold a grudge for years and it deteriorates the relationship.
yeah, and we need to also remember that even if someone does you something, forgiveness is not necessary for the person, it's for you. So it helps.
Little creature, no. Go on, sister.
No, because forgiveness really, you're the one that's holding on to it. You're the one that's stressing. The other person already gone, living life, and you're the...
Sometimes a person has passed and you're still holding on
Yeah.
forgiveness. It's so,
I've heard that in recent times.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
could never forgive him, and the person is
the person
deceased.
gone and you're still holding on, and it's killing you because it's eating you away inside. Just let it go. The forgiveness is for you.
Yeah, definitely. What was the question again?
We're talking about
No, I
being
was thinking about what I
courteous.
did for him. Yeah.
Being courteous.
Listen, that's your spouse, and it's very different. I mean, it's very, very easy to take your spouse for granted.
Yes, it's
Not
true.
only your spouse, but people who live with you. I think they get the brunt of the abuse, and you probably treat the person outside nicer than you would treat your spouse.
Yes.
Simple things. He takes out the garbage. Thank you, babe. Anything he does, thanks, hon. Please, thank you. Let him know, or her, know that you respect them. That goes a long way.
Yeah.
I sometimes say to my boo, I don't know what I would do without you. I just love you to pieces. You make so many sacrifices for your family. I hype him up and make him feel good because it's true. I love my guy. Listen, I'm telling you, if something is wrong with my baby, something is wrong with me. If he feels sick, I automatically feel sick. And boy, I petition in heaven, Lord, please, we want a couple more years together. Help us to grow old gracefully together. Lord, don't take my baby from me, please. I'm serious. I just love my guy. And that's what, true love is so precious. When you really love someone, wow. That's why I feel sorry for persons who can't find a partner. And some of my girlfriends are telling me there's no good man in Antigua anymore, so we're importing. So they're getting guys from overseas and you know, bringing them. And they say there are no good men in Antigua, but William, Colin, Charlesworth,
They're
Reed,
taken.
and Marley's,
That's why-
they're taken.
That's why they are.
Eustace is available, but nobody's taking Eustace. Okay, this is one way of improving your relationship. You're laying in bed, not for you guys who aren't married. You're laying in bed. It's a nice quiet moment before or after, whichever. Well, after is usually snoring. Before, try before.
I don't know
So,
about that. Go ahead.
so try before, and you ask, what do you love about me? But you have to be careful. Like we said, you have to be mature because the answer may not always be pleasant. What do you love about me? And I've asked that question, and I didn't realize my husband was tracking my generosity. And he said to me, I love that you care for people.
Maybe that's an exercise that couples should do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
I'm
because the thing
serious.
about it, there are lots of times when we ourselves don't see our benefits, we don't see the good things that we do, but other people do. So it is good that we can get somebody else's point of view
Yeah.
in terms of the type of things that we do that they love about us.
Yes. So Chris Ann is 20 years, we're 25, you're 9. Do you promise to return home tonight and ask that question?
I can.
I'm sure you will.
I'm always learning, so if it's something to do to improve, I'm with it.
Did you enjoy the conversation? Clap if you enjoyed the conversation. What do you want to leave with the people about true love?
Yeah, what I'd like to leave is I'd like every couple to find out your spouse's love language, find out what it is that they really like, because you may be plying somebody with gifts when really and truly all they need to hear is words of affirmation. So find out their love language and kill them with the love language. Also, if you have kids, remember that when the kids grow up, it's going to be you and your spouse. So build that relationship now so that when the kids go, you guys are still on fire. Hot.
Woo, like your red
That's right.
dress.
You can go ahead. Go ahead, I'll go.
I think
after
she
you.
brought up a very good point, Chris Ann, in terms of learning the love language. I had to do that with my wife, learning the love language so that I can not make any more missteps, since that seems to be the new trending word now. So I appreciate understanding that concept. And I think out there people need to first get into marriage for the long haul and try to build and have the journey of love together. So you can, as you say with Chris Ann, after the children would have gone, you still have a lot of bliss and lots of fire in your love and romance to be able to go on.
And I'm going to wrap up with something scriptural. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interests of others. And when we do as the Bible admonishes us to do, we can't go wrong. Amen?
Amen.
So I want to thank you guys very much for coming to the Paula
Thank you
Show
for having me.
tonight. And it has been our pleasure presenting to you our conversation about true love. I hope it has been helpful. Have a good evening. Goodbye.